people that were forced out of Venezuela by this.
Did you? I couldn't get live fast enough. It just wouldn't do it. But prior to this, he was literally falling asleep.
Does the U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, there are boots on the ground. Oh, so we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have.
This president. What about the people that it's a distraction from the FC? This man is such a piece of shit.
Very badly. We lost a lot of people last night.
Oh yeah, when we attacked them, you mean?
We lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we lost a lot. And we want to make sure that this is proper. We're there now. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be.
We're going to run Venezuela. Do all that in Venezuela, not here.
We couldn't let them get away with it. You know, they stole. Well, we built that whole industry there, and they just took it over.
They stole our oil.
Of course they did.
But this isn't about oil.
All of these immigrants come in, they eat our pets.
Okay, I just want to hear the questions asked because his answers are fucking stupid. What's up, man?
Come into our countries, they eat our pets.
Right.
They steal our women. They steal our jobs.
Sorry.
We're going to be running it. We're going to be bringing it back. It's a dead, you know, I talk about a dead country. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're
what is he
doing better than any country anywhere in the world. And it required leadership. Venezuela has a lot of bad people in there, a lot of bad people that shouldn't be leading.
So now we're going to have Israel be Israeli in charge.
So you can look at, and others are fantastic people.
What an ugly, disgusting man. This is a rapist.
Make a lot of money for the people and give people a great way of life.
He just keeps re-saying the same shit. Obviously, he was briefed on what to say.
Yeah, no, that's how it is dealing with any company these days. And that's after you jump through 20 hoops just to get the person.
So Marco's working on that directly. Just had a conversation with her, and she's essentially willing to do.
How did they steal our oil? We stole.
Make Venezuela great again.
We're gonna make Venezuela great again.
So Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass. Today, he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So, just what your messages about that?
He has factories where he makes cocaine. And yeah, I think I stick by my first statement. He's making cocaine, they're sending it into the United States. So he does have to watch it.
Jesus Christ, this is the President of the United States.
Marco, do you want to talk about that? Because you were involved.
All right, here, watch. He's going to fall asleep again.
This is not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification on. It was a trigger-based mission in which conditions had to be met night after night. We watched and monitored that for a number of days. So it's just simply not the kind of mission you can call people and say, hey, we may do this at some point in the next 15 days. But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day, at its core, this was an arrest.
This is a piece of shit.
Fugitives of American justice. And the Department of War supported the Department of Justice in that job. Now, there are broader policy implications here. But it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify because it endangers the mission.
This is nuts.
Congress has a tendency to leak. This would not be good. If they leaked, General, I think it would have been maybe a very different result. But I have to say, they knew we were coming at some point, you know. A lot of ships out there, they sort of knew we were coming.
What is he even talking about?
Congress will leak, and we don't want to leak it.
You were one of the only people to watch this all play out live. What was the reviewing with U.S. forces in what seemed to be his home? Also, where the U.S. was considering if Maduro pushed back or resisted killing Maduro.
It could have happened. It could have happened. He was trying to get into a safe place. You know what a safe place is? Or, and he wasn't able.
Do you know what a
to
safe
get
place
in
is?
Because our guys were.
You're
so
a female.
fast, they went through the opposition so fast, and there was a lot of opposition. People were wondering, did we get them by surprise?
There was a lot of opposition, but yet nobody, no casualties.
Opposition. There was a lot of gunfire. You saw some of it today, but he was trying to keep his voice, which wasn't safe because we would have had the door blown up in about 47 seconds, they say on average, regardless of how thick.
About 47 seconds, they say on average. He's fucking nuts. He is making up problems that don't exist. Exactly.
Where is Maduro going to be in the time being right now? Do you know his exact
Well,
whereabouts?
eventually, ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
And where is he going to be held? Where is he going to be held in New York? Do you know?
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President, the U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without necessarily a plan for what comes afterwards. Did that weigh on your decision?
Well, that's when we had different presidents, but with me, that's not true.
That's not true.
We've had a perfect track record of winning. We win a lot, and we win.
We win a lot.
You look at al-Baghdadi. You look at the Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was.
What about that Epstein thing? I'll go to.
Essentially, because of that, if we were successful, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. So,
We have peace in the Middle East? Why doesn't anybody call him out on this if they're real journalists?
Because they'll get kicked out.
This is his second question.
To do it quickly, but it takes a period of time. You know,
He plays nice.
we have to rebuild the whole infrastructure. The infrastructure is rotted. It's actually very dangerous. It's blow up territory. Oil is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to take out of the ground. It can kill a lot of people. It has killed a lot of people.
Oh my God, this guy, he says the same thing over and over. It's a lot of this. There's a lot of that. It's a lot of this. It's a lot of that. That's all he knows. He needs a thesaurus more than anybody I've ever seen. It's a lot of money. We take a lot of money.
Mr. President, China, Russia, and Iran have interests in Venezuela. How does this operation affect your relationships with them when it comes to the oil and
China
drugs?
and Russia, well, Russia, when we get things straightened out,
Oh my God.
we'll be selling oil, probably in much larger doses because they couldn't produce very
They literally said over and over again, this had nothing to do with oil. This was about safety and Hamas.
many of whom are using it now, but I would say many more will come.
Are you saying that, Mr. President, are you saying that? Oh,
Mr. President, thank you.
Not you, girl.
People of Venezuela today, of course,
I wasn't talking to you.
specifically, they have a lot of questions. What is your message to the people of Venezuela?
You're going to have peace, justice. You're going to have some of the riches that you should have had for a long period of time.
Oh, we're going to give that to them.
You're going to have safety. You're going to have justice. You're going to have a country. You're going to have potentially a great country. You know, if you go back 20 years, maybe even a little longer ago, that was a great country. And then we lost the election.
What?
Before election, we started so badly. When you look at the border, 2020, what they did, what Joe Biden administration
What?
did to our country should never be forgotten. But if we had to go through another year of that, we wouldn't have. We would be exactly where Venezuela was in terms. I used to say,
What?
we're going to be Venezuela on steroids, and that's what would happen.
So you just said that twice, did some crazy shit, and got back to it.
sending in U.S. military
There's going
troops
to be
to
a team
provide.
that's working with the people of Venezuela to make sure that we have Venezuela right. Because for us to just leave,
Did the Venezuelans ask for this?
there is nobody to take over.
A lady, I just saw a live feed
Been appointed by Maduro.
hour
And right
ago.
now she's the vice president, and she's
And
the Mr. President.
she was on her
a
balcony.
little while ago.
She's in part of Venezuela, Caracas.
Caracas.
Whatever you need.
And she people were asking if she was safe because they got bombed.
We're going to have this done right. We're not going to just do this with Maduro, then leave like everybody else, leave and say, let it go.
And
No, we're gonna milk this for all we can.
she was thrilled. She goes, "We're." We don't know the truth.
also, I can't stress this strongly enough.
This dude is
the
insane.
people that got thrown out of Venezuela that are now in the United States, and frankly, some want to stay, and some probably want to go back. Yeah.
What?
Americans in the country, and were any of the detained Americans?
Well, right now they're
arrested
very
last
protected because nobody's going to mess with us. They're very protected. The people, and we let them know that you better not touch one.
Oh, well, that's how they're protected then.
will remain in place?
Well, we know who they are. We're on them, and they're acting much differently now than they would have acted 2 days ago.
And what do you
Okay,
say
wait
about-
behind you, please.
Mr. President, why is running a country in South America America first?
Well, I think it is because we want to surround ourselves with good neighbors. We want to surround ourselves with stability. We want
This
to
is a
surround ourselves with
pre-planned
energy.
answer.
We have tremendous energy in that country. It's very important that we protect it. We need that for ourselves. We need that for the world, and we want to make sure we can protect it.
That didn't answer the question at all.
Cuba is, not doing very well right now.
Can you imagine as soon as he names your country, how you're like, oh, fuck, no.
Suffered for many, many years. And I think Cuba is going to be something we'll end up talking about because Cuba is a failing nation right now. Very badly.
They're failing and they need us to come make it better. Everybody's failing and needs us to come make it better.
Also help the people that were forced out of Cuba.
Oh, there were people forced out of Cuba, too.
Think about that, Marco, please.
Well, I just gave you a statement a few minutes ago about, when the president speaks, you should take him seriously. So suffice it to say, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent, senile men, and in some cases, not senile, but incompetent nonetheless. It has no economy. It's in total collapse. And by the way,
It has nothing to do with all the embargoes and shit, right?
help protect Maduro, and their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans. I mean, it's amazing. This poor island took over Venezuela in some cases. One of the biggest problems the Venezuelans have is they have to declare independence from Cuba. They tried to basically colonize it from a security standpoint. So, yeah, look, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned, at least a little bit.
Cutting off the oil flow to Cuba from Venezuela?
Well, the president already announced a week ago that anything that's sanctioned oil, it's not going to be allowed to get there. So that's an
So Cuba is a disaster, but it's on their own. It's not.
You said disasters. I'm typing disaster.
And are you in contact with her?
No,
Mr. President, on Monday,
I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect.
What the fuck just happened?
But she doesn't have the respect.
He just went.
Administrating Venezuela for years,
Well, it won't cost us anything because the money coming out of the ground is very substantial. So it's not going to cost us anything. We will. Well, we want safety there. We want to be
Safety. It's safety, but oil. Safety, but oil. Oil, but safety of oil.
Over the world. That's what that was happening, and you don't want to have that. But we're going to be.
I hate this man so much.
We're not spending money. The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money.
This reminds me of the Mexican wall that they were going to build and pay for and like it.
A long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We're going to get reimbursed for everything.
We are. How is you and I going to benefit from this?
It's going to be a very important. It's going to be a very important. This is a very big evening that took place last night. We have to be surrounded by safe, secure.
That's the line keeps repeating. Surrounded by safe, secure.
We have to have energy that's real energy, not where.
Do you remember in his first presidency when he was bragging that America is the #1 oil producer in the world and we have enough energy to last 25, 30 years?
Third of a year is going to be a great thing, and the people of Venezuela will be the biggest beneficiary.
Mr. President, thank you. What did you last speak to Maduro about when you spoke? And is the
Well, I don't want to get into the conversations, but I did have conversations with him, and I said, you got to surrender. And I actually thought he was pretty close to doing so, but now he wished he did, yeah.
Why do you think that is? Who do you think he is? Look at his nose.
First, as you know,
Why do you think that guy keeps getting to ask questions? There's a whole room of people there.
Okay, so There's all know, I know, but CJ's standing right there waiting to cut people off when she has to, you know? Like that's
West Wing is
control the room.
nothing like this.
But they control the room. It gives you an insight.
I know, but I'm saying there are a whole bunch of other people there asking questions, and this guy keeps getting through.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, why is he getting chosen?
That happened to him. He's also a party member of one, so obviously the people liked what I did, and one of the reasons that was done is because of the fact that the party in power felt very strongly that that man was treated very badly.
This guy is so stupid.
And I said it in great detail. I went to a lot of the people standing behind me, and they felt that that man was persecuted and treated very badly. That's why I gave him a party.
Wait, are they talking about Netanyahu?
On the ground earlier. Can you just sort of button this up?
Did he just talk about was that what he was talking about, getting a pardon?
Presence in Venezuela as the U.S. runs things.
Well, no, we're going to have presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil because we have to have. We're sending our expertise in, so you may need something, not very much, but no, we're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground, and that wealth is going to the people of Venezuela and people from outside of Venezuela that used to be in Venezuela. And it goes
What is he talking about? How do we benefit from giving all that money to Venezuela? That doesn't make sense.
You have one? Yeah. You were so nice before. I'm going to give you the final question. Go
Thank you,
ahead.
Mr.
Unless it's a bad question, in which case I'll go one more. It's about
Putin. If you want
about Putin. Well, that's
Okay.
always nice.
You had a you had a phone call with him on Monday. Did he talk at all about Maduro? Did y'all talk about this?
No, we didn't. We never spoke about Maduro.
Are you mad at him right now? I mean, there's this
I'm not
intelligence.
thrilled with Putin. I'm not thrilled with Putin. He's killing too many people.
There was that
I
intelligence.
thought that would be so. I settled 8
Who's killing?
war. You know what the 1 quarter was? Yeah, I did it again. They broke out, and I did it in about 5 hours, and I settled it. I'm giving myself 1 quarter, so I'm up to now 8 and 1 quarter. In other words, I settled the war, but then they had a pretty bad breakout over the last 4 days. I got them to go back to peace. So I only give 1 quarter. I thought the easiest one
What is
would
he
be
talking about?
one of the easier ones would be Russia, Ukraine. It's not, and they both have some pretty bad things.
It's because of the Jews.
And look, that's Biden's war. That's not my war. But I looked up the last,
That's Biden's war.
last month.
How did Biden have anything to do with that?
27,000 the month before. 30,000, mostly soldiers, were killed. You know, I got NATO to pay 5% instead of the 2% that they weren't paying. They weren't paying, now they pay 5%. We send them a lot of munitions. We send
For
them a
what?
lot of
What are you
things,
talking
missiles,
about?
Various other things, a lot. And they pay. The United States is not losing money, making money. It's the last thing I care about. I just want to stop all those people. We're losing 25, 30,000 human beings.
Humans.
Come from 2 places that are very far away. But if I can something pretty good at doing deals, I guess it's all a deal. Life is a big deal. But if I can stop that war and stop 30,000 young people, in addition to the fact that people are being killed in Kiev, people are being killed in other cities, you know, a much smaller number, but they're being killed, viciously killed. So I'm not happy about it. I thought that would be something that would get solved. We have Mr. Witkoff here. I think that we're making progress, but that's a war that should have never happened. If I were president, it would have never happened. Putin says it. Everybody says it.
Who?
If I were president, that would have never happened. But I inherited that war. That was Joe Biden, Zelensky, and Putin. I came into the situation, and it's a mess. And I will say this. I watched an operation last night that was so precise, that was so brilliant. I mean, it was incredible. If we had our people, like this general, and our people involved, that war would not have gone on very well.
Yeah, if we had that fucking YouTuber.
That war, to use an old term, that war has become a bloodbath. And we wanted to get
A bloodbath. He is the worst person. I mean, I just
All right, you've just been listening to
look at that piece of shit.
news conference with President Trump. that a lot of people will be taking away from today after hearing about the capture of Nicholas Maduro.
She got her. She got her comeuppance.
We will run the country, speaking of safe, proper, judicious transitions at 11:47, doubling down and saying we will make the people of the safe. I want to bring in the White House.
What the fuck is going on, guys?
From reporters, as you just heard, for how do you do this? Who's going to be in control? He talked about the men standing behind me. Essentially, we'll be working with a group until there is a proper transition. Also mentioned that
this is terrifying. So then, if Venezuela does some sort of attack on us, it's their fault, right? Because they should have just been okay with this and their leader being captured and. You guys distracted, yo? Like, hold this for a second.
Hello. Oh, I'm in the middle of typing a long response, so I've been fairly quiet. Hi, y'all. We're going to run Venezuela until a safe transition takes place. That's fucking terrifying. That is terrifying. We're going to run Venezuela until a safe transition takes place.
Right, because we're so good at that.
Oh my God. We can't take care of our...
All right, so I want you guys to hear. So I just went to the Google machine. That's what I always tell you guys to do. Whenever there's shit like this happening, where the news is totally focused on one thing, put Israel into the Google machine, click news, click sort by date, and see what happens. So what's it say? Let's just see what it says. 8 minutes ago, why Europe and Israel are turning to India for mass production of essential defense? Who knows? The Jerusalem Post. Family makes aliyah from Paraguay to Israel. A family from Paraguay comes to Israel, and that is a news story. That's a news story. That's how important they are. The forgotten Israel kibbutz near Oz. Oh, is that where the attack happened? America's ties to Israel might lead it to war with Iran. From an hour ago. That's the Jacobin. Aaron Ransmeret. Donald Trump has once again threatened war with Iran just 6 months after bombing the Islamic Republic in June. Part of the reason for his hawkishness is his closeness to Israel, whose increasingly reckless actions threaten the whole Middle East. Two new histories on U.S.-Iran relations ask why these nations, once strategically linked by Cold War imperatives, have been hostile to one another for almost half a century. Literally because we're attacking them. We must spread democracy. Exactly. Exactly. Look at that shit. Look what they did to this country. This is an act of war. How is this not an act of war? Imagine if somebody did this to us. This is an act of fucking war. So when Russia and China decide that this is bullshit and they've had enough and they come after us over this, then what? I'm so scared of what they're doing to us. The situation they're putting us in. Elliot Gould. What's his last name? Abrams. Same thing. Let's see. Foreign Ministry advises Israelis to avoid travel to Venezuela after U.S. strikes. Israel hails U.S. operation in Venezuela, calls it leader of the free world. Israel kills 2 Palestinians, wounds 18 people in Gaza despite ceasefire. Oh, yeah. Never mind this part, right? Medical sources say that an 11-year-old girl was shot dead by Israeli forces in the town of Beit Lahina in northern Gaza. 2 Palestinians were killed and 18 others injured by Israeli gunfire in Gaza on Saturday in a new violation of a ceasefire agreement, medical sources said. Medical sources told Anadolu that an 11-year-old girl was shot dead by Israeli forces in the town of Beit Lahia in northern Gaza. The girl was killed while she was in a designated safe area in the town from which the Israeli army had withdrawn under the ceasefire, local sources say. A 45-year-old woman was also killed by Israeli army fire in the Tal al-Daheb area of the. Another Palestinian was wounded by Israeli forces near Nasser Hospital in the city of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza, also in an area from which the army had withdrawn, according to a medical source. In southern Gaza, another medical source, said 17 Palestinians were wounded in by Israeli gunfire on the northwestern outskirts of Rafah, an area the army had previously withdrawn from under the ceasefire. Most of the wounded were transferred to Nasser Medical Complex in Khan Yunis for medical attention. Local sources said Israeli military vehicles opened fire towards areas where displaced Palestinians gathered northwest of Rafah, while gunfire was reported from elevated military platforms installed by the army inside parts of the city. Are we still attacking them? Is it dark in Venezuela right now?
Why are we still attacking them? The president's gone.
She's kind of hot and scary looking.
Here's the president saying this was about drug cartels, but acknowledging that U.S. companies will be coming in, spending billions of dollars, he said, on infrastructure.
She's a happy, thank you. Local sources said Israeli military vehicles. Local sources also said that Israeli military vehicles opened indiscriminate fire east of the Buri refugee camp in central Gaza. Since the ceasefire agreement came into effect on October 10th, the Israeli army has committed hundreds of violations, killing 418 Palestinians and wounding 1,171 others, according to the health ministry. That's since the ceasefire they've done this. The ceasefire halted Israel's 2-year war that killed nearly 71,400 Palestinians, more like 600,000, most of them women and children, injured more than 171,200, and left the enclave in ruins. But despite the ceasefire, Israel's deadly attacks on Gaza continue. Gosh, man, it's a good thing Venezuela is such a danger, huh? Who? Israel backs U.S. move, urges democracy in Venezuela. Let's see what Israel has to say. At this historic moment, Israel stands alongside the freedom-loving Venezuelan people who have suffered under Maduro's illegal tyranny. Yep. Israel lauds the American operation, which resulted in the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Foreign Minister Gideon Saar announced on Saturday. Israel commends the United States operation led by President Trump, which acted as the leader of the free world, Saar wrote in a post on Twitter. At this historic moment, Israel stands alongside the freedom-loving Venezuelan people who have suffered under Maduro's illegal tyranny. Saar added that the Jewish state welcomes the removal of the dictator who led a network of drugs and terror, and that it hopes democracy would return to Venezuela, and that the two countries would be able to resume friendly relations. Oh, wait. Isn't Venezuela one of the countries that's openly, chastised Israel in the last few years? I'm sure that's just another fucking coincidence, don't you think?
This has been a CBS News special report. Thanks for staying with us.
Yeah, Venezuela should be on Easter time. That's why I was asking, are they on a different time? They're directly below us. the people of Venezuela deserve to exercise their democratic rights. South America deserves a future free from the access of terror and drugs.
Ready to cut your bill? We're ready to help.
Earlier, the Commanders for Israel's Security, an NGO of more than 550 retired senior officials from the IDF, well, then what are they even doing if they're retired? The Mossad, the Shin Bet, the police, and the Foreign Service also welcomed the operation, seeing it as a warning to the Iranian regime, Israeli media told a media outlet. Wait. So all of these people all of these Israeli groups are really, really dedicated to this American operation in Venezuela because that sends a message to the Iranians. I mean, I don't understand when we as Americans stop allowing this. Like, seriously, how do they still have us fighting each other over skin color and sexual preference and sexual identity and, you know? Yeah. How does that, how are we just so fucking stupid? The American action in Venezuela is a warning to the regime in Iran. The outcome depends on what the Venezuelan public will do next. The event is not yet over. Right. Is the public going to react positively? Are they? Are the Venezuelans really happy? BBC, this isn't new, we're going back. BBC reaches agreement with Israeli family for filming in home after October 7th without consent. Oh, get the fuck out of here.
What?
The BBC has reached an agreement with an Israeli family who survived the October 7th, 2023 Hamas attack after a team of journalists entered their badly damaged home without permission. A BBC news crew, including international editor Jeremy Bowen, entered the home of an Israeli family on the Gaza border and filmed inside the property in the days after the deadly attacks. They filmed personal photographs of the family's children at a time when many of their friends and relatives still don't know whether they had survived. Spoiler alert, they all did. The Jewish News reported. A BBC spokesperson said that while they did not generally comment on specific legal issues, they were pleased to have reached an agreement in the case. Zila Horenstein said gunmen threw a grenade at her husband Simon during the Hamas attack on the village of blah blah early in the morning of October 7th. They threw a grenade at him? They threw a grenade at him?
Did he survive?
Why didn't they just shoot him? If they were close enough to throw a grenade at him, why didn't they shoot him? Did he break out a tennis racket and boink and hit it back?
Grenades cheaper than bullets? I don't know that.
I would assume no.
I would assume no, but I do not know.
The couple and their 2 young children only survived their home's door because their home's door twisted and jammed when the attackers tried to blow it out with explosives, she told the Jewish News, who first reported the story.
The door jammed, so explosives couldn't get through?
So how did they throw a grenade at the husband? I told you all of them survived. But she's right. When the attackers tried to, their home's door twisted and jammed when the attackers tried to blow it out with explosives.
With explosives.
Right.
There's no jamming involved.
No, it twisted and jammed, and then they just couldn't get through.
Bullshit.
Why would anyone believe that fucking story? This is almost like I don't have any sort of stake in the Palestinian situation or anything like that. It's just wrong. Where it does affect me is what's presented to me and then stolen from me, but presented to me as justification that is like insultingly stupid.
Insultingly stupid.
Right? It's not even accidental or anything. It's purposeful and insulting.
Let's see what they'll believe this.
Right. They'll just, it doesn't matter what we say. They believe it anyway. Meanwhile, American kids volunteer to fight for the Federal Reserve. I don't know what you actually said. There's a translation thing there, so you might have said something different.
Maybe military.
Smoking weed like a loser supporting Kamala.
Oh my God. Oh
See
my
what I mean?
God.
And this is another troll that's already been here. You know, this is their new thing. Joined 14 years ago and has no subscribers. But he's here. He's talking smack because again, yep, supporting Kamala.
I
So
heard
Kamala,
you say all kinds of supportive things about Kamala.
Kamala and her Jewish vice president and her Jewish husband. Yeah, that sounds like somebody I'm gonna support, huh? Like, I'd
If
love
you
to have
don't
supported.
like Trump, it doesn't mean you automatically like Kamala or Biden. Or...
They know that, but that's how it works for them. That's that programmed way of doing it, because they know, if anything, it's just ad hominem, and it'll start a different conversation. But because they can't stand up for their beliefs, they try to attack you for yours. But because again, they only have like a small section that they can choose from as far as shit they're capable of defending. And so they're capable, at least in their own minds, of sort of defending by saying, "Oh, well, you support Kamala," you know, because that's just a knee jerk sort of just pre-programmed bullshit response. It's all they can do.
It's funny because that statement has not changed. The only thing that's changed has been Bush, Obama.
Well, no, the
Biden.
Kamala thing is definitely is a weird thing. But yeah, she's right,
She was
though.
never president. They
She's
just
right.
keep changing that.
Because it was, before
It was Bush.
it was Biden. No, it was all, oh, Biden supporter.
Yeah.
You must be. Because anytime you talked about Trump, they would say, oh, you're a Biden supporter. You're a Biden supporter.
And then it was.
And they were all so
Obama.
big, so quick to jump on Biden smelled that girl's hair that one time. That makes him a pedo. What about all the Trump stuff?
Hey, you know what?
What about all the stuff? Doesn't that
about
override that?
How about this? Your limbic system is what controls your memories.
Right.
So maybe the girl
Smelled
used
like
a shampoo
exactly.
that was like his favorite teacher or his grandmother.
Or his
and
grandkid or
He
something.
smelled it, was like, oh my God. And it had nothing to do with the fucking person in front of him.
That's what it absolutely looks like.
Because I know when I catch certain whiffs, like there's been times where, I've walked the aisle at the grocery store because the lady that was stopped next to me in that aisle smelled like vanilla or smelled like something that my Yaya would wear. And I just walk a little slower to get that whiff longer, to have that memory. Had nothing to do with the lady. I couldn't even tell you what she looked like.
Broads usually have a unique smell. And I've always remembered broads by smells.
Well, they'll have a favorite lotion or a favorite shampoo or.
But it's just it's that desperation where you go, so wait, what about all that stuff with Trump being associated with Epstein and Katie Johnson and the girl in Lake Michigan and all this other shit? What about all that stuff? Biden smelled the girl's hair.
But the thing is, don't get it twisted. I would not be surprised.
Oh yeah, Biden's
He
absolutely
was smelling her hair.
Biden's absolutely a part of that shit.
But I'm just saying, I don't jump to that conclusion because I know how the limbic system works, just from the oils that, if nothing else.
But that's what it looked like. He just looked like he smelled something. That was it. He didn't look like he was like, children.
My Nana. Something, like it could be that simple.
It seemed like it was that simple. And the thing is, Biden is a piece of shit. There's like no doubt about it.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. But he just doesn't have all of the evidence against him like Trump does. Like every time they're like, Biden said nigger and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, let's go look that up.
Yeah.
And then you look it up and he's testifying and he's like, and when people say nigger and this, that, and he's saying that people say it. He's not saying it. But that's how it's spun to you. That's what they always do, man.
I think in that context, he would have lent the word more power had he said people use the N-word.
No, he wouldn't have. That wasn't even a thing back then. This is early 80s or when he said it. So yeah, nobody was saying the N-word. that wasn't a thing that people said. And the reality is, it's a word. I am so opposed to the word mattering. I'm so opposed to like, oh, so you think it's okay that people say it? Yeah, I don't give a fuck. If you're dumb enough to commit crime because someone says a word, welcome to MK Ultra. Right? You're an idiot. You're a programmed fucking NPC who hears a word and the program takes over. You're fucking stupid. And I'm so, to me, that's how I see it. I look at movies like Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee, who just, why did Spike Lee just come out of nowhere? If you took Spike Lee's color away, or even, fuck it, if Spike Lee came out of Israel, and you were like, yeah, he's an Israeli, would you be like, nah, that's a black dude? Yeah, you'd believe he's an Israeli. Small, the glasses, all of it. He's the definition of the stereotype, but in that stereotype. And if you watch Do the Right Thing, I Do the Right Thing is one of those movies that is like revered, kind of like Richard Pryor is revered. And then you go and you watch it and you're like, what the fuck? Like, this movie is why so many stereotypes happen. Those stereotypes didn't exist nationally before that movie did it. But then that movie shows ignorant black people how they're supposed to act. They emulate it. And it's just such a dumb fucking movie. It really is a dumb movie. Spike Lee had no business being so important. He was installed. Yes. That's why he made Malcolm 10. They at that time, like, unless you lived it, you don't understand. But, and even you, because you were so, you were on the other side of the thing. I had a personal stake in it. And at that time, I just thought it was so weird how...
Personal stake in what?
In the black... the thing that was happening. I don't want to say like revival, but it was like, this huge focus on Africa. And, it always pops in my head, cross colors. Cross colors were the ugliest clothes you can fucking imagine. And they became so popular. But like, the thing that happened, it just so happens that on 8/8/88, Niggas with Attitude dropped their album. Don't you think that's amazingly coincidental? At that time, it's like they did everything they could to create this huge sense of division. Black people wanting to get back to Africa and shit. Why? Like, it's one thing to say I want to go visit Africa, but America is beautiful. It's amazing here.
So is Africa. It just,
for sure,
there were not opportunities. There were, there was poverty, disease.
I know all that. I'm saying, why would you want to, it's almost like they instead of being able to kick people out, they were trying to make it so you left on your own. You should go back to Africa. You should get back to those African roots. Now, don't talk about any of the apartheid, any of the multiple examples of the Jewish control that just dominates Africa. Nobody talks about that. They love to make it sound like some random black guy dressed like Captain Crunch yet again is fucking killing all his people, and you know, where'd he get all his new Toyotas from? Don't ask. And you know, it's literally all just the same bullshit over and over again. I remember Spike Lee courtside at basketball games promoting his relevance. You remember when Spike Lee tripped a referee and was still allowed to exist? He stuck his foot out to trip a referee.
I don't remember him doing that. He did that on purpose?
Uh-huh. Jay-Z put it in a song. I'm Spike Lee. I could trip a referee.
That's funny. I did not know that. When did that happen? Was it an important game? Was it like, did it cause, you know,
Yeah, it was a big fucking deal.
did the ref miss something that would have been called? Because,
No, I think he didn't like the ref's call.
oh,
Spike
what a dick.
Lee.
He just looks, you don't see it in his eyes.
Trips.
The dude is creepy.
Oh yeah, he's just awful.
Some people just exude that creepy energy.
I'm like
He
Spike
is
Lee.
one of
I
us.
could trip a referee.
That's funny as fuck.
No, that's not it.
I mean, he's a Hollywood guy. It's entirely possible you're not gonna find it.
Spike Lee getting upset with a referee over a call, and he's out on the court yelling at the referee. Who the fuck is this guy? He
I
should be
make
kicked
movies.
out. Right.
I make movies.
Look at that.
Blech.
I don't own this, by the way. What a dumbass. He's such a dumbass. I don't know why I can't find this shit.
Because he's Hollywood. I think I just said that. Really?
Yeah, dude, he's like a goofy ass. He's a little bitty guy who thinks he knows about basketball better than the basketball players. Or it's like Stephen A. Smith. You know, Stephen A. Smith is one of the most obnoxious fucking characters that they give us. I can't stand that fucking guy. Let me see something. I want to see something. Yeah, it's actually alright. What the fuck is I just gonna look?
Another player.
Oh my god. Huh? What the hell was I doing? I have short-term memory issues for some reason.
Yeah. I think it's getting old.
Spike Lee. Wait, so I was Spike Lee, and then I was like, I'm gonna look up. Oh my god, I can't believe I can't think of who this is.
It was another person.
Right.
I don't know who they were. Otherwise, it would have stuck.
Yeah, you know who they are. I can't even think about it. It's so far gone at this point.
Left the building.
God damn it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Come on, Craig. You're usually good about this. Who was I talking about?
Went for Spike Lee. So is there somebody in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Or was it a basketball player? Getting in fights with basketball players. Really? Getting in fights? He's this little itty bitty guy. And
God damn, it's gone.
left the building.
Getting in fights with people. Come on, guys. You're supposed to be better than this. You're supposed to remember this shit. Doom, 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 doom. Oh, it was Stephen A. Smith. That's who it was.
See, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, you do.
I don't. That's why I don't remember him.
You know who that guy is.
I mean, maybe
Tell
I
me.
know his face.
Yeah.
Oh, what's he from?
He's a sports commentator.
Okay. I mean, he looks familiar.
Stephen A. Smith, October 14th, 67, also known as Stephen A., is an American television personality, radio host, sports analyst. He makes frequent appearances as an NBA analyst for ESPN Sports Center NBA Countdown and Network's broadcast. He has also hosted the Stephen A. Smith Show. Hey guys, Stephen A. Smith always takes a hard line in his opinions, just like you with the Friar. Yeah, but he's a clown. He's an absolute clown, and like I hate when he. Well, let's just see what we find out here. Was born in the Bronx, a borough of New York City. He was raised in Hollis section of Queens. Smith is the youngest of 6 children. He has 4 sisters and an older brother, Bill, who died in a car accident in '92. He also has a half-brother on his father's side. Smith's parents were originally from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. His father managed a hardware store. Smith's maternal grandmother was white. The rest of his grandparents black. His graduation in '86 from Thomas Edison High School in Queens after attending. I was reading stuff that really doesn't matter. It's about his basketball career, playing college hoops. I'm actually surprised he has more credibility than I thought. He is a member of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. That's what I'm looking for. I knew I just had to look. Isn't it interesting how I can say, I bet if I look this person up, even though it might seem all good, I bet if I just keep looking, I'll find one little piece. So let's see what Omega Psi Phi is an international, historically African-American social fraternity. I'm so interested in this. It was founded on November 17, 1911 at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Omega Psi Phi is a founding member of the National Pan-Hellenic Council. The fraternity chartered over 750 undergraduate and graduate chapters. Over 250,000 men have been initiated into Omega Psi Phi. And this is their coat of arms. I mean, it's kind of gay. I'm going to be honest with you. Is it not? It's kind of gay. It's not menacing. It's kind of goofy.
Yeah. Cartoony.
And then look at the symbols on there. It looks very Muslim. Got your genie lamp. Got your star. Got your Omega Psi Phi in the middle there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 dots around it. You know, that all means something. Emphasis is African American. The motto is friendship is essential to the soul. Oh, that's beautiful. No, serious. That is beautiful. Okay, I'm serious. Pillars, manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. What? Colors, royal purple and old gold. Symbol, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. You are going to love this. You know what the symbol is? Lamp. My wife loves lamp. Yep, she loves lamp.
That is awesome.
I don't even think this guy graduated. I didn't. I scored almost, I think I scored like a 99%. I think I got 1 or 2 questions wrong on the GED, which is something they say that most high school kids can't pass. And you're definitely not supposed to get 90%, 99% on it, especially when, so the GED is broken up. So my GED story. So the first time I took the GED, first of all, they wouldn't let me take it. Like most people, when they not in school anymore. They just take their GED, right? Well, they wouldn't let me. They told me I had to wait till I was 18 or that I had to wait until my class graduated, which neither one is true, right? But so the first time I took it, it's always broken up into two. There's the math day and then the reading day. They're you know, you got to take it two parts. And the first time I took it, I basically since everything was multiple choice, I basically just like skimmed it and picked, you know, the answer that I thought like made the most sense or what. Like I fucked around. I don't know what I was thinking, but I just didn't try, and I actually failed it. And because I failed it the first time, I can't remember how long I had to wait to be able to take it again. I think I had to wait a year to be able to take it again, or if I took a GED course, I would be allowed to take it again, I think is what it was. So
The money, you take the class.
right. So I took the course. It was at Starkweather in Plymouth. And I went there like the first week, maybe. And it was just so dumb. I was amazed at how stupid everybody in the class was. And they weren't really like, it was just, I had already been out of school for a while at this point. So it just wasn't working for me. So I just stopped going. And then one day, I don't even know why, I just had a feeling, maybe my buddy said something or whatever, but I had a feeling maybe I should go check out this class one last time. And because I knew the test was maybe coming up or something. So I thought
maybe I could weasel in.
Something. So I went to the school that day to see if I could maybe weasel my way in, not realizing that that was the last day of testing. Testing had been over the last 2 days, but that was the last day of testing. And they were like, and I don't even again know how I was able to charm my way in with these fat women. But they were like, well, you can, if you want to, you can take, you know, both tests today. You know, it's a lot, but you can take them both. I was like, yeah, that's obviously that's what I'm going to do instead of, you know, having to go through the whole course and shit again. So I ended up taking both tests that day. And, you know, again, they give you like 6 hours or some shit, but it only takes an hour if you're not a moron or whatever. But this time, instead of doing what I did, I actually like read each question out and I just put effort in. You know, I just, instead of just trying to breeze through it, I just, like I say, I read the questions thoroughly. And then, because a lot of it involved like, you know, they give you scenario, you then have to take from the scenario and then answer the set of questions, right? And so, yeah, I ended up getting like a 99% on it or something like that. And I got some sort of certificate like on top of the GED. I have no idea where the fuck any of that is. I never did know where any of that was. It's really weird to think about it, but like it wasn't something I was like proud of. I just had it, and then I lost it almost immediately. In government daycare, I bought into the Scholastic diploma and learned Spanish. When you're young, it's brain is in development. Yeah, well, no, it's definitely my. The thing that's, you know, especially in hindsight, that's incredibly apparent is that I'm really fucking smart. And, you know, it was known back then. They would always say stuff back then. Like, you know, everybody would always talk about how disappointing it was because I had so much potential and blah, blah. And I always thought that's just what they say to everybody. And they do to a degree. But with me, it was always like people would be disappointed because I would not, you know, I could do it so much easier than other kids who try really hard. But because I didn't, I like wasted it. And that's how everybody sort of looked at it. But, you know, I've told the story before. I got 100% in math and reading on the MEP tests and like 97% on the science part. I think I missed 2 questions in the science thing. To the point where they actually thought I cheated somehow. They were trying to figure out how I could have possibly cheated. But I got another one of those certificates from the government. That was my first certificate saying, "All right, we're watching you now."
All right, I'm gonna smoke one more and then go do my baking.
Kids are rolling. I wish I knew Spanish. My dumbass was given the opportunity to take Spanish or German, and because I come from German, I was like, "Oh, well, I'll take German because that'll make things easier, and I have all this family that can help me, and blah blah blah." Boy, was that a fucking mistake.
You didn't get help?
I I I I got interaction. I wouldn't call it help. But the thing is, it's not like with my kids where I can recognize how they're struggling and what they're going through because I went through it. And I know better, not exactly how, but I know better how to deal with that and steer things and you know, curb the negative behaviors. Right? Like my family didn't have any sort of experience with that. None of them were like that apparently. You know, I don't know. I'd like to say my kids got it, and they did to a degree, but I think I was a lot smarter than my kids are when I was their age. And I come from really smart people. Like, my dad's a dumbass, but he's really smart. And then my mom was like super smart. And her father was a fucking genius level smart. Has all sorts of patents and shit in his name and blah blah blah. He's long dead, but like he was the smartest guy anybody ever knew. So, but you know, I grew up different. I definitely didn't live in a cell phone or video games. I don't know. It's weird. It's like the trade-off because we don't live in the best neighborhood. We don't live in a shitty neighborhood by any means, but we don't live in the best neighborhood. And it just so happens that, you know, the couple of kids their age that do live around here are fucking shitbags. So, you know, the trade-off is like, you know, they're not out there being knuckleheads with these fucking idiots getting in trouble and doing shit, but at the same time, they're not out there being knuckleheads. Like, that's part of it. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I wonder if there's a way to actually, like, look that shit up. I wonder. Oh, I don't want to lose that page, though. I wanted to look up Omega Sci-Fi. Let's keep going here. Omega Sci-Fi fraternity was founded on November 11th, 1911 by 3 Howard University students, Edgar Amos Love, Oscar James Copper, and Frank Coleman, and their faculty advisor, Dr. Ernest Everett Just. I mean, these are fucking goofy-ass names. Edgar Amos Love, Oscar James Copper, Frank Coleman, and Ernest Everett Just. It was the first national fraternity to be established at a historically black university. The fraternity's purpose was, quote, to attract and build a strong and effective force of handsome men dedicated to its cardinal principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. I mean, I find these narratives all to be just so theatrical and ridiculous. You know, because they're all the same. My parents were extremely smart, but their beliefs made them stupid. Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, my grandfather was you know, again, genius level, but you know, I mean, my kids have the ability to be smarter than him in that they can just look anything up, which doesn't mean they figure things out like he could. Like, he was fucking brilliant. He was just brilliant. But still, like, the only thing they knew was what like, you only had the option of the you know, the official standard narrative. You didn't have access to an internet where you could look different things up and different perspectives up. You knew what they offered, and you knew it better than other people or whatever, or maybe you knew more, you know, you looked into more things, but it was all very, very controlled. They didn't have the ability to stumble across someone like me and then, you know, learn from that. So it's a completely different, like, you almost can't even compare the two. You know, those people were, if our grandparents were alive today with the technology that they have available to them, like, we would excel by leaps and bounds, right? But having this technology that opens us up and gives us so much access has also made us dumb. It's really a strange thing. But you look at all of these stories and they're all the same. 3-4 guys got together and founded this fraternity that now controls a large section of the world, blah, blah, blah. It's like so fucking stupid. Anyway, I'm actually gonna be done here. I'll redo this tomorrow. We'll continue this, but I'm bored. Or I'm not bored, I just fucking existent. Or I'm exhausted. So started this actually to show you, because it wouldn't let me get it started. I had to like reset my phone and in order to start it. But while the general was talking, he must have gone too long because Trump was literally falling asleep again.
And then he was like,
it was hilarious.
Literally trying to hold his eyes open.
No, he keeps getting caught. Good old sleepy Trump. Sleepy dump Trump. Anyway, you have yourself a wonderful day. Check out the links in the description. Pedophiles, kill yourself. See you.